Welcome back, everybody. Today's video is addressing yet another question that I get asked all the time, while also doubling for being what I believe to be one of the biggest misconceptions amongst the average Dota 2 player in this community. Let's go ahead and get started. So that question is, BSJ, how many heroes should I be able to play? How many heroes should I have in my hero pool? So I'd like to say that this is something that I feel that a lot of people put pressure on themselves to know a certain amount of heroes. There's kind of like that stigma, like, we're not League, you know? We're not One Tricks. We should be able to play every hero in the game of Dota 2. But today, I'm going to be answering and addressing all of your concerns about exactly how I believe a hero pool should be created and what the right number is for you. So the reason why I say for you is because there is no exact, hey guys, 5. You know, there's no exact answer here, but we're going to give some guidelines and ideas for when you'd want to learn a new hero, knowing whether or not your hero pool is the right size, whether it's too large or too small, and basically trying to help you. You know, we're going to put on some fitting shoes today. We're going to try to fit you guys into the right size. The right amount of heroes in your pool is the amount that will allow you to climb the best. Let's be blunt and say that this video is for people who are trying to improve at Dota, trying to gain MMR and climb the ranks. So this almost always is less than 10, and it can sometimes be as few as 2 or 3. Eventually, your hero pool may expand past 10, like you feel comfortable on more than 10 heroes, but staying up to date on the heroes you like to play is very important. So playing more than 10 in any given patch can also be a bit of a bait. So what are some things we should be considering when a hero is in our pool, or first and foremost, whether we should even be picking it in the first place? The most important thing, now this may seem obvious to many of you, but you would be shocked how many people disobey this first rule, that if you are picking a hero, you must be able to play this hero well. Now, this implies that if you don't know how to play the hero well, or if it's a new hero for you, that you would learn it with intent. So what I mean by learning it with intent is, if you want to learn a new hero, you have to play it at least 10 times in a short span of time, ideally less than a week. And in my experience, the difference between the first game and the 5th, even the 10th game, is massive. It is absolutely day and night, and playing them in short succession will eliminate like the rustiness, the button pressing, like lack of a feel. You know, you get to basically get the muscle memory down for a hero, and it's going to make a huge difference in your ability to execute and overall think about the bigger picture of Dota. Because if you're learning a new hero, you're going to be distracted. You're going to be thinking about what buttons you're going to press, what order, how your spells need to be casted, what they do they help you secure CS, do you initiate, do you go second, do you backline, are you damage, you know, do you show on the map, do you not? These are all things that if you're worried about pressing the right buttons, you're not going to do them. So the worst habit, I'm a culprit of this in the past, that you must avoid. This is like the #1 disclaimer, you know, warning for this video. Knowing a hero is good for the game without doing the learning with intent portion. So you say, I know this is a good anti-mage game, so I'm going to pick anti-mage. And oftentimes you end up botching it because you're not very good at the hero. And then you feel bad that you feel like you should have won knowing that it was a good anti-mage game. And then you learn to resent that hero because of the fact that every time you pick it, you know it's a good game, but you always lose. That may be exactly what's happened to me in the past. Me and anti-mage are cool now, though. Don't worry. So we talked about being able to play a hero well. And if you're not being able to play a hero well, either break it down with the 10 games or put it on the back burner for later. The next step in establishing your hero pool. So the first step is more about removing heroes from your pool, or choosing which ones you really want in the pool, because they have to be heroes you're comfortable on, right? And you have to be able to confidently say, I can play this hero to its best capabilities. This next step is adding heroes to your pool. Learning like, okay, now my hero pool has been shrunk a little bit, but maybe we need to expand it a bit more. Or maybe I already started with a small hero pool. BSJ, I have a 3 hero spammer, and I'm wondering if I need to add more. The next one is being able to pick a hero in any situation. So what I mean by that is not a specific hero all the time, but every situation you run into, you would have a hero for that situation. So a few examples of this. You are in the draft and you see the supports and the off lane of the opponent team. And the offlaner is Mars. And what happens is you've only really learned how to play ranged carries. And Mars is really good against ranged carries. So because of Arena blocks ranged attacks, and it also counters Hurricane Pike, which a lot of ranged carries like to buy. Which means that every time the enemy picks Mars, you feel feel this feeling of dread. Like, I always lose to this hero. I suck against this hero. And usually when you feel that, like you suck against a specific hero, it's because the heroes you like to play are almost all, if not all, bad against that hero. So one reason for learning a new hero or adding to your hero pool is for this exact reason. So one thing I love to do, when I have a hero that I'm struggling against, I go to Dota Buff, I look up Mars, and you see the heroes that it's worst against. Notice how it's good against all the ranged carries, and it's bad against heroes we see here. Now, the common factor of all these heroes is that they have an ability, Doppelganger, Time Walk, Blink, that gets them out of arena, which is the exact reason the ranged heroes struggle against them. So you may say, as a carry player, I need to learn one of these four in order to deal with Mars. Oftentimes, the struggle will be particularly against meta heroes that you're seeing in a lot of your games. And so rather than resenting that meta hero like a lot of people will do, they'll end up basically saying, screw Tinker, screw Nature's Prophet. This is a more proactive way to deal with this problem that I'm sure most of you face every single patch. Another situation that may arise is that you find yourself being forced to play position 5 or any other role because you're out of role queue tokens. Now, a lot of people dread this situation as well. Well, spoiler alert, people, for the sake of your own hero pool, I think it's absolutely essential, because of situations like this, that you are able to play at least one hero in every single role. Because remember, point number 2 we've made here is that you want to be able to pick a hero in any given situation. You want a go-to hero to pick. You may end up having to know 2 heroes in every role just in case the first one gets banned. But that's something which, once again, is a situation you may run into, right? I learned how to play Rubik, but it gets banned every game because Rubik's really strong. Well, now we need to add another 4 position. But one little tip here is that if you are learning heroes for the sake of being able to play other roles and not just lose, I highly recommend or encourage you to play heroes that are flex. Heroes that can be played both core and support, something like Dawnbreaker in this current meta, or something like Earthshaker, Earth Spirit, which gets played mid, off lane, and support. You can have more, versatile supports like CM that can be played 4 and 5, so that we're basically saying, I know you guys don't love playing other roles, but having at least 4 extra heroes, 1 for each role, or making it 2 or 3 because certain ones cover multiple roles, is a great way to ensure that you don't donate free losses when you queue up without role queue tokens. The third situation for needing to add a hero to your pool. And I've seen many complaints about this exact situation, and it is absolutely essential that we practice stoicism with this one. And stoicism means that we accept the things around us and that we know we can't change them. The way I look at it is every patch, you can have one hero that you nominate to ban every single game. So theoretically, hopefully that hero wouldn't be in your role, but you could potentially say, I just don't know how to play Morphling. He's really broken right now. I'm going to ban Morphling every single game because every time he's picked to carry on the enemy team, I lose. That means that you have one hero in your role, maximum, that you are allowed to not be able to play at all. This is implying, once again, that we're trying to climb MMR and understanding things that are making us lose MMR. So that means that if you cannot play the 2 most broken heroes of your role in a given patch, that you are basically guaranteed to be operating at a disadvantage in the said patch. So this kind of ties back to learning a hero with intent in the first step. So one question we didn't really address in the learning a hero with intent is, how do I know which heroes to learn other than, like you said, where you struggle against Mars or you need role queue tokens? The answer is simple, guys. The time to learn heroes is when they are meta, because first and foremost, the better a hero is, the more room for error that you will have, the greater margin of mistakes that you can make and still have a chance to win the game. Also, you can play against bad matchups and still have a chance to win. If you're picking off meta heroes, that doesn't necessarily mean this hero's bad, but it means that it's not good enough to overcome counter matchups, and you may find yourself in games where you are hopeless because you're playing against 2 or 3 bad matchups, and if you're learning the hero, you may not have even known that these were bad matchups. So we're trying to avoid that unwinnable feeling throughout the entire course of this video when it comes to recommending you guys heroes. So not only is it that they have a greater margin for error, but there's also tons of people playing this hero right now, which means you have ample amount of resources, whether it's like common item meta builds or pro player replays that you can watch in order to get a better understanding of this hero. Another common misconception that I hear is towards the end of a patch, people not wanting to learn a hero because of the fact that it is probably going to be nerfed soon since it is broken. But what is so important about this entire video and about that misconception as a whole is that Dota is the long game. If you add a hero to your pool, say right now in 7.34c, you add Gyro to your pool. What that means is you'll have a good understanding of Gyro as a concept. You'll have picked him, you'll see like, oh, this is his timings, this is when he does well, this is when he does poorly. And maybe in the future, you'll be able to pick him again when he's broken because you've already learned him, or you'll be able to situationally pick him in a patch where he's off meta, but you know it's like the stars aligned perfect game for this hero. So there's tons of longevity in the aspect of learning heroes with intent and also being able to play them when they're broken, even if the meta might shift in the near future. So don't get baited by that misconception that like the sunk cost that the meta is already almost over, that you shouldn't learn this hero. It is ideally better to learn towards the beginning of a patch, but for whatever reason that may have delayed you, don't stray away from attempting to learn heroes before they get nerfed in the near future. These are my 3 main points, and I'll repeat them again because I've already said them. Being able to play your hero well, being able to pick a hero for every single situation, and being able to play the most broken heroes in a given patch. Also, I recommended at the start of the video that hero pools can be as small as 2 or 3 and as large as like 10 to 20 for like the people who have a ton of time to play Dota, but the goal is to avoid free draft losses, whether it's because you cannot play the hero or because you find yourself in a situation where none of the heroes that you play are good, so you're likely to lose. These are the 2 main situations we are trying to avoid utilizing these 3 things. So don't feel like you need to expand your hero pool at any time because it's a certain number. Don't feel like it's too large if you can actually play all of those heroes. It's all about this awareness that there's a specific situation I find myself losing in, and I presented 3 of the most common ones in this video, and using that as a source for that's why I picked Jug. I picked Jug or Faceless Void because all my other heroes are bad against Mars. Maybe you end up loving Jug and you'll be able to play him in other matchups as well. But the idea being that you picked him with this problem, and then in the future you'll run into a new problem, meaning like, hey, you can't deal with this hero now, or this hero's broken. And then you'll slowly but surely add this to your index of problems that you have addressed, and you will know what to do in the next time, right? Dota is all about situational awareness, understanding what to do in every and any and all situation, and that includes drafting heroes. I hope you guys liked this video, and I really hope you guys enjoy refining your hero pools over time. It's been one of my favorite things to do ever since I kind of started viewing things this way. Please feel free to comment about what you guys think about this video, how it ends up working out for you later down the road. Love to hear from you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.